What is happening, PokeMoshPit? This is Biolizard1 and today I'm going to proudly present to you an overused Wi-Fi battle, and this is a match against the guy I met at Smogon. He decides to lead off with a Tyranitar and I'm going to lead off with Ninetales with the drought ability because I really wanted to use this sunny day team. And yeah, it did quite well in this match, but not really like I desired because it still needs some tweaks. But yeah, let me bring you this awesome battle. Predicting Tyranitar to go for the Stealth Rock's first turn, I'm going to switch into my Snorlax. Also, I wanted to play safe that he didn't go for the Earthquake on my Ninetales, because then my Ninetales would have died this early in the game, which isn't quite good on a sunny day team. So I switch out, going to my Snorlax. Snorlax is Choice Banded, not especially defensive set as you used to see a lot. But yeah, I'm just going to go for Stab Return with the Choice Band, and even after an Intimidate of Salamence, it nearly finishes him off. So I know that after another return, I'm going to finish him off, and Snorlax did quite great in this match. Now he switches out an Excadrill, and I don't want this Excadrill to set up Swords Dance on me switching out Snorlax. So I'm just gonna stay in, take the risk of him finishing me off. Then I switch out into my Firefox, my Ninetales, get up the sun again, and because the sun is up, his speed boost is rendered useless, meaning that I'm going to be able to outspeed him now. If he stays in, or if he switches into Tyranitar, then I won't mind, because I'm going to go for a Will-O-Wisp straight off the bat, burning him and rendering his high attack stat useless. So I burned him, which is awesome for me, but on the other hand, he got his Sandstorm back up, which is not too good for me. So actually, in this team, I'm packing Jirachi because of the fact that a lot of people tend to use Sandstorm teams, and with my Jirachi, I can easily use it when the sun wore off, and for example, when my opponent uses a Sandstorm team. So I was totally not predicting him to switch into Gastrodon, and to be honest, I didn't really pay attention in the team preview. But yeah, I'm just going to keep Iron Heading here, trying to go for trying to flinch him the entire time. But unfortunately for me, Gastrodon has the access to the move Recover, which means that if I don't get the flinch one turn, he's going to be able to regain 50% of his health and render my Iron Heads useless. So that is a thing I don't want to happen, and I'm going to switch out on the obvious Recover into my Lilligant, and then with my Lilligant I'm going to go for a Sleep Out while he switches into his Skarmory. And to be honest, I really brought the wrong Lilligant, because if I had Quiver Dance, then this game would have been in the bag really, because then I would have been able to Quiver Dance up while his Skarmory stays in, and that way I would have been able to Leaf Storm his incoming Tyranitar or go for something else. But yeah, I'm going to switch into Ninetales to get up the sun again while he double switches, goes into Tyranitar, making my drought ability useless, and with his Stealth Rocks up, he's going to keep lowering my Ninetales hit points bit by bit while I keep switching him in. Now he predicts me to switch out my Ninetales again while I go into Rhyperior, and yeah, that was actually a good prediction on his part, and I'm just going to stay in, maybe predicting him to go for another switch into his Tyranitar, but that doesn't happen. And I know that Rhyperior is not going to outspeed this Gastrodon, so I'm just going to Gastrodon is going to be able to keep scalding me, and I really don't want this to happen, because Scald has a high percentage, 30% chance of burning me, and if that happens, then my Rhyperior is just going to be useless. So now I predict right a couple of times. He went into Excadrill, I went for the sub, he went into Skarmory, I'm going to go for a Fire Punch. But that Fire Punch did pathetic damage for a Pokemon as Rhyperior to have that high stats. So I'm going to switch into Ninetales again, maybe predicting him to switch into Tyranitar. I'm just baiting and luring him here. We are kind of playing on the edge, but that's alright, I guess. I'm just going to go for the Stop Fire Blast here while I predicted him to go for Tyranitar. I'm just going to go for an Overheat because it's the stab move I have. And I was so surprised that it did so few damage to Tyranitar. But on the other hand, I should have predicted that, because with Sandstorm up, Tyranitar gets a special defense boost. So I really should have seen that coming. Knowing that Tyranitar is going to switch out next turn because he kept playing mind games with me, I'm going to go into my Lilligant, and this turn he goes into Gastrodon, and that turns out to be not the baddest thing for me ever. So I'm just going to go for a Leaf Storm, maybe expecting him to go into his Excadrill. If he went into Excadrill, then he would have lost the balloon. If he went into Skarmory, then I would have been able to get some decent damage on it. And like I said, this is not my Quiver Dance guy, unfortunately, because if it was, then yeah, I would have been able to go for a Hidden Power Fire, but I wasn't able to do that. So now I'm going to go into my Mojo Jojo, which is my Infernape, and Infernape is just the boss of this team. He switches into Gastrodon because I saw the open space. I just decided to go for a stop close combat. If he switches out into Gastrodon, then his Gastrodon will be dead. If he switches out into something else, it will do a huge amount of damage. So that was something good. That was actually a good predicting for me. But on the other hand, now he has the access to switch into Excadrill. Excadrill is going to be able to outspeed me with the Sandstorm up, which means I'm going to have to sacrifice my Verminator, my Rhyperior in this progress. And now I'm going to switch out into my Firefox, my Ninetales, and I am at a critical amount of health where I'm just going to stay in there, get up the sun, while he switches into his Tyranitar that I predicted, while I am going to be able to double switch into my Infernape, outspeed Tyranitar with Infernape, and go for either a fire move or a close combat. And here I predicted him to go into Skarmory, but I didn't want to take the risk, and on the other hand I thought that close combat would do more to Skarmory. So what I'm gonna do right here is due to the Life Orb and Sensor, my Infernape is going to be withered down slowly. And for some random reason, I went into Stealth Rocks here. Not really sure why I did that. The best move should have been to go for the Stab Overheat, and this is the point that cost me the game. I go for a Stab Overheat, I miss. He goes for the Brave Bird, and he hits me and he kills me off, and that really paid off, because if I would have been able to take out the Skarmory earlier, then that way I would have been I would have had a spare Pokemon on my team, and then the chances of me winning this battle would have been much higher than they were right now. So I'm gonna go for a Sleep Powder, maybe predicting him to go into Excadrill, and I know that my Power Tulip is going to die in the next few turns, and in addition to my bad luck with missing the Overheat, he's going to be able to wake up first turn after being put asleep by my Sleep Powder and get off a roost. So that was really awful for me. Luckily I have the Healing Wish, and my Ninetale is back at full health, so I get my chance to set up the sun again. So that means I'm going to be able to go for any attacking move. And yeah, with the Stealth Rocks and the Burn, Tyranitar is going to be taking down next turn, if I'm correctly. While my Ninetales sits here nearly at full health, but unfortunately with the Sandstorm, I'm going to not going to be able to get off my leftovers bonus. But yeah, now he switches into Excadrill, which basically means that I'm going to have to sacrifice another Pokemon in the progress, and hope that he will not go for a Swords Dance, but go for the attacking move straight off the bat. And he goes for an Earthquake, and actually this is my Berry Jirachi, and it actually survives the Earthquake coming from an Excadrill, which I did not predict at first. But now I'm going to go into Firefox, and I know I'm going to be able to outspeed him, because now Sandstorm is gone. Go for an Overheat, but I miss again, and he's going to be able to take me down with an Earthquake. So that was a very good game. And if you see it, he only had his Scizor, Skarmory, and his Excadrill, which means that with the Stab Overheat in the sun, even after -2, I think I would have been able to take both of those. So yeah, I think the game could have been different if my Overheat on Infernape and on Ninetales did not miss. But hey, that is life. I really enjoyed this battle. I hope you guys enjoyed it as well. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and check out my channel. Bye guys!